When considering the world's biggest perfume and fragrance brands, few evoke a sense of luxury like Jo Malone London. But did you know that the brand is now completely separate from Jo Malone herself? So who owns Jo Malone? And what is Jo Loves? Here's how it happened. Jo Malone started life on a council estate in suburban London. She struggled at school due to her dyslexia, and from the age of 8 she would spend her Saturday mornings helping her father sell his artwork at local markets. Meanwhile, her mother worked alongside the eccentric Madame Lubatti at her private skincare clinic in the Montague Mansions area. Jo also helped out at the clinic, observing how face treatments and fragrances were made, all the time learning from her mentor. Madame Lubatti passed away in 1974, leaving the shop to Jo's mother, who recruited Jo as her second-in-command. Her duties included the sterilisation of equipment, cleaning the fridge and surfaces, and even preparing some of the products, all while still a young teenager. After Jo's father walked out on the family, the pressure of the business became too much for her mother, who had a nervous breakdown, resulting in Jo dropping out of school to become responsible for her sister. Jo would begin her day by preparing the products, taking her sister to school, selling the items from the shop, before returning home in time to cook dinner for the two of them. After her mother recovered, Jo moved out to live with family friends, and worked at a few shops owned by British entrepreneur Justin DeBlanc. Firstly, a delicatessen on Elizabeth Street, as well as a couple of florists. It was while working at the florists that Jo discovered she had an incredible sense of smell. She could detect the faintest of ingredients in any fragrance, and could tell how long a bunch of flowers had been kept in the fridge since being picked. Jo attended Bible school at the age of 18, where she met her husband Gary, and the two married a few years later. Around 1988, in her mid-20s and saddled with £30,000 of debt from her mother's crumbling business, Jo began to carry her massage bed door to door around London, offering face treatments. She and Gary moved into a studio apartment in Chelsea, which became Jo's clinic. After 12 hours of treating clients, Gary would return home from work to help Jo prepare her products for the following day, before rolling out a blue piece of foam to sleep on and repeating the cycle the next day. After a few years, the pair decided that they needed a shop, and in 1994 they opened their first location in London, under the name of Jo Malone London. Their products soon included body lotions and bath oils, with the shop struggling to keep up with the demand. They hit their 5-year revenue goal within just 6 months, and had $1 million in sales after 18 months. Demand for the product had gone global, with Jo Malone opening a concession store in Bergdorf Goodman on 5th Avenue. To create a buzz around the product, Gary even hired people to walk around the city carrying empty Jo Malone bags for 6 weeks in the build-up to their North American launch. In need of some help with the worldwide distribution of her product, Jo met with Leonard Lauder of the Estee Lauder Companies, to whom she sold the business in 1999, but remained as creative director. Disaster struck in 2003 when Jo was diagnosed with breast cancer. Fortunately, after a year of treatment, she went on to make a full recovery, but lost her sense of smell due to the chemotherapy she'd received. Feeling that she no longer belonged in the industry, Jo left her role at Estee Lauder, signing a non-compete agreement, which prevented her from releasing any skincare or fragrance products for 5 years. Her smell then returned just 1 month later, and she spent the next few years sitting on boards and advising other entrepreneurs while mourning her role in the fragrance industry. She made her return to perfumery in 2011 with the brand Jo Loves. The business struggled with sales for the first 2 years. That was until Gary surprised Jo with a birthday present, the keys to the original delicatessen that she'd worked in when she was just 16. With a spring in her step, Jo launched the Jo Loves store on Elizabeth Street, and also released several pioneering products in the industry. These included an innovative paintbrush for applying fragrances to the body, and a tapas bar for fragrances, offering a menu for the nose that focuses on making smell the predominant sensation. Although not quite as successful as the original Jo Malone London, Jo Loves continues to break new ground in fragrance every year, and Jo herself shows no signs of slowing down. And that's how it happened. Thanks for watching.